Welcome back to the show. We're going to take a quick break from the NBA Finals to talk about the huge NBA story brewing in New York. There's two prongs to this, okay? Prong one. Mark Stein says the Knicks have asked permission to talk to Mavs coach Jason Kidd, who famously not only poured a cup of ice on himself, but also famously coached Giannis, and who was heartbroken when he left. Prong two. Shams reporting that the Knicks made a trade deadline offer for KD that didn't get off the ground, but they are expected to revisit the pairing in the offseason. So, Brew, there's two prongs there. Your reaction to both prongs?
Well, there's a lot there, obviously. Here's the first thing. If you interview Jason Kidd, he better get the job. I mean, if I'm Jason Kidd and someone asks to interview me, and I tell them, Matt, look, I'm going to go interview with the Knicks. You know, you gave permission. And then they interview me and I don't get it? Like, how am I going? I mean, seriously, like.
Yeah. How do you coach your team now?
Tough spot.
Yeah. Like, if you have to know. And does Jason Kidd, I get it, everybody should interview, but you know what you're getting with Jason Kidd.
Yes.
All right, so it's like if this is true, like, it seems like he's their guy. If they give you permission, it's got to be his job, because he can't go back to the Mavericks and coach them.
That's a great point.
And you know what Jason Kidd is. You don't need, him to sit there and tell you. So that's number one. Also, as you said, look, it makes sense, and Nick had the theory, which I don't necessarily believe, but it's interesting considering this. His theory was that the Knicks got word somehow that if they have certain guys as a coach, Giannis will be more interested.
Wow.
So Jalen Brunson is fine with Kidd because he played for him in Dallas. Giannis had a great relationship with Kidd in Milwaukee. So look, if all that could come together, praise the Lord. You do it, all right? As far as KD, let's say you can't get Giannis. KD, I'm not giving up, obviously Brunson, I'm not giving up Towns for KD. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to give up OG and Hart and Bridges, because if I were to get, like, I only want KD if I still have Towns and Brunson. All right?
I don't know how you can.
But to give up all those other guys, now I don't have many defenders. And toughness.
Towns isn't much of a defender.
No, but Towns is not even 30 years old yet. KD's going to be 37 in September. KD's injury prone, got hurt in the layup line. And KD, basically Towns scores as much as KD. Towns averaged 24.5 this year. KD averaged 26.5. Towns doubles him in rebounds. So I get the same scoring from KD, twice as many rebounds.
It's a good argument.
I would not give up Towns for KD. If I can get KD somehow and keep the bulk of my team, which is asking a lot, then I do it. Otherwise, at 37, and KD we know is an all-time great, but at 37, for Towns, who's not even 30 yet, no, I'm not.
Okay, like you said, a lot of prongs.
Yeah, a lot of prongs.
A lot of things going on here. A lot of ins, a lot of outs. It's a complicated case. I don't think the Knicks were that close to a championship, even though they were 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. I think a lot of things broke their way. 2 crazy wins against the Celtics and then a Tatum injury. They don't have to play the 1 seed in Cleveland, who dominated them in the regular season. Cleveland was hurt. They lose to Indiana. I don't think Brunson and Towns complement each other all that well. Like, if your 2 best players and your 2 highest paid guys, neither one of them is a two-way guy, they're both bad defensive players, it's tough to win. It's tough to build a truly competitive team, I think, that can be sustainable around them. So I don't think if you add KD, because
Instead of Towns, you got the same issue. The 2 best players don't defend.
That's what I'm saying. Swapping out Towns for KD, okay. I don't think that they're a championship team. So it would be interesting. It would be exciting. We would talk about them even more than we already do, because he's Kevin Durant. He's one of the 20 greatest players ever. But I don't think Kevin Durant in place of Karl Anthony Towns makes the Knicks a championship team. I don't. Giannis,
oh yeah,
with Brunson, like, let Wilds coach the team. Like, you know, like let anybody coach. let anybody coach the team. I'm just saying.
Good. He didn't say me. You know, I can coach.
If you can get Giannis, you let anybody coach the team. He's one of the 3 best players in the world. He is a two-way player. He complements Brunson beautifully. Now, I have no reason to believe that the Bucks would accept a Karl Anthony Towns for Giannis, like as the central pieces of that trade. Right. The only world that this exists, which is, I suppose, the hypothetical world we're living in, is if Giannis demands a trade and says it has to be to the Knicks, and the Bucks say, okay, you've done everything for us and more that we could have asked for. We're going to try to get you to the place that you want to go. But
do you like, and I said this last week, if I'm the Bucks and Giannis comes to me and says exactly which I want to go to New York and that's the only place I want to go, okay, I guess you're staying here. Like, unless the Knicks can put together a deal, probably 3 or 4 team deal where I get what we want, and I'll work with you, Giannis. Houston, San Antonio, any team, I'll work with you if we can get back what we need to go forward. But I'm not just sending you to New York because you want to go there when you have 3 years left on your deal. That's the difference. Most team guys that do this force their way. Anthony Davis forced his way to the Lakers. He had like 1.5 years left on his deal.
Right.
Giannis is much different than that. So to me, he can't force his way anywhere. If I'm running the Bucks.
Giannis is just a very unique superstar in my opinion. Like, other than Steph Curry to the Warriors, I don't think there's a player playing in the NBA today that means more to their franchise and their city than Giannis does to Milwaukee. Like, Brew, you'll remember, like, before Giannis, there was a story like, are the Bucks going to leave Milwaukee?
Right.
The league owned the stadium. Are they going to be able to, like, that is quite literally the house that Giannis built. They got a new stadium. They kept the team in Milwaukee, a homegrown championship, a historic Game 6 to win where he scores 50. He is 15th pick in the draft. He is everything that a franchise could have ever possibly wanted. He's signed 3 extensions with the Bucks. They've given him new coaches and new players and new superstars. So I am like a sentimentalist. He reveres Kobe. I hope that his career is Kobe's. I hope that he stays in Milwaukee for forever. But if he decides that chasing a second ring because Dame's injury, they've given up all of the draft picks, the cap situation, if he's decided that a second ring is more important than trying to be Kobe or Duncan, one team, one superstar, one career, then I do think because of what he meant to that franchise, they might take 40 cents on the dollar. It would be bad business.
We still have to exist after you leave us.
I know. In the $1 billion building that he built.
You're right. They might, but I think that would be ridiculous.
It's just he has given them everything and more.
Well, you haven't done it for free.
No doubt.
I mean, we've paid you handsomely, and again, I would work with him. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely work with him. Okay, here's your list. We'll work with, and Knicks can be on the list. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, Giannis, this is what we want, and we have to get. I'll take maybe 90 cents on the dollar, something like that, 85. No, I'm not just doing it just to appease him.
Can I circle back to the Jason Kidd piece? Because I don't remember, and Brew, you might be able to pull it off the top of your head, or Danny, the last time that this type of request has happened in the league where you have a job, but I'm going to ask if you want to break your contract. So does this at all speak to dysfunction? I'm just trying to get underneath this.
Oh, you mean in Dallas?
In Dallas. You also have, I could see if Jason Kidd was like, this Luka thing happened. I wasn't a part of the decision-making process. I'm unhappy. But now you got a chance to coach Cooper Flagg, right. Who you feel like, all of a sudden, I've got a chance and I've got a longer runway. Yeah. What do you think even the request means, and should he enter? You're saying he shouldn't even entertain it, or he should?
No, I'm saying it's not an interview. If you want me to actually go to or if you want the Mavs to give you permission to talk to me, it better be a done deal.
But is it like basically a break? You know what I mean? Like a mutual, let's get divorced.
I don't know. This is also.
Well, you could get draft picks too. Because
Right,
when Doc Rivers, left the Clippers, it was draft picks for that. Or
Right,
went to the Clippers.
you can trade coaches.
Yeah.
This is Knicks hubris. This is New York ego.
Right.
Capital of the world. Because there's also some talk are they going to request permission to get Ime Udoka?
Well, as much as I like Kidd, Udoka, if I could get a coach that's already coaching.
A difference-making
coach.
Yeah,
like Udoka is he's my first choice.
But see, my first choice is whoever gets me Giannis.
Well, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. If that could work out,
if
absolutely.
through back channels and CAA connections and New York over everything, if
Kidd can get me Giannis, absolutely. Welcome, Jason.
The contract negotiation is going to be very awkward.
A lot of.
By the way,
yeah. I want to be paid what Giannis is paid.
Because you're right, though. As bad as it looks in Dallas, I can coach Cooper Flag. I don't have to go. Now, if I'm Kidd, I'd rather be in the East for sure. Yeah. You definitely want to be in the East rather than there in the West, even if you have.
Oh no, I just got to the other previous coach got to the Eastern Conference Finals and got fired.
Yeah,
that's strange.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.